Hello, geometry scholars. We are on skill 3.4a, which is review of equations of lines. So this is going to help you actually with skill 3.4, which is equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. And we are going to review the different types of linear equations. All right, so one of the biggest myths in a high school math class is that y equals mx plus b is the only equation. So students who think that y equals mx plus b is the only style of equation often find themselves an unpleasant surprise when they get to courses like Algebra 2 and stuff like that. So there are equations, for different purposes. So there are three main forms of equations. So y equals mx plus b is going to be our slope-intercept form. And it is extremely important that you know what your variables stand for. So the m is your slope, and then your b is your y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b is useful when there is a slope and a y-intercept. All right, point slope form. This is a very underrated equation format. And if you are given a point, like x1, comma, y1, and a slope, you can have y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. So my point is the x, y1 coordinate, and note x and y stay as x and y. So if you are given a point and a slope, you will want to use point slope form. And then standard form is ax plus by equals c, something like that. Standard form, sometimes we are given equations in standard form, and you do want to generally switch those and convert those to slope-intercept form so that you can read things like what the slope is. Okay, so this is write the equation of a line in fully simplified slope-intercept form. So this tells us that we want a y equals mx plus b. Now, some people, they kind of look at these questions and they're like, oh, I don't know what's being asked. Well, if you read the equation, you'll actually see what you need to do. So this m is find the slope. And this is your rise over run. So I'm going down 1 over 1. So your m is negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1. And then 2, you want to be able to find the y-intercept. So that's what your b stands for. And the y-intercept is just the y value. So our b is equal to 3, and our m is equal to negative 1. And then we have all that we need. And I even just like to write y equals mx plus b. No, y's and x's, they just stay as y's and x's. But you're going to put in your m, which is negative 1x plus 3. And then you have a y equals mx plus b equation that is nice and fully simplified as well. All right, example 2. This is a standard form equation. And they want you to simplify all the fractions so you can see the slope. So we need to go from a standard form to y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to circle the y as what we need to get by itself. So first thing that I would do is I would move the 9x over to the other side. So I have 12y equals to negative 9x minus 84. And the reason why I'm putting the 9x first, the minus 9x first, is just because I want it to kind of be in that y equals mx plus b. And I want to get this y by itself. So I have 12 times y. So I need to divide by 12 on both sides. And when I do that, I'm dividing everything by 12. So I'm left with y equals to negative 9/12 x minus 84 divided by 12. So if you go to your calculator, 84 divided by 12 is 8. And it's asking us for simplifying all fractions. So 9/12 does simplify to 3/4. And now we have something that we can read. So we can see that the m is negative 3/4. And we can see that the y-intercept is negative 8 as well. So there'll be some problems today where you take the standard form and you convert it into slope-intercept form. All right, example 3. I'm going to give you, and I'm going to really emphasize this type of problem. And I want you to kind of make sure that you are comfortable with point slope form. So point slope, you want to go back to the beginning of your notes and see what that formula is. So point slope is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Everything that you need is given to you in this problem. So I have x1 and y1, and then my slope is negative 2. And I like to even just keep score here. So I'm going to write x1 equals negative 2, y1 equals to 7, and then your m is negative 2. So then I'm just going to put it in. So I have y. I just keep y as y. And then my y1 is 7. My m is negative 2. And then my x1 is negative 2. And this is pretty much your equation. But I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to say that this is negative 2 times x plus 2. And then that is your completed point slope form equation. Now, optional, if you want to get it into y equals mx plus b, I mean, what we have here is final answer. But if you want to see y equals mx plus b, what you can do is just get the y by itself. So I'm just going to like move the 7 over to the other side. So I'm going to say that that's negative 2 times x plus 2 plus 7. So that's negative 2x minus 4 plus 7. So that's y equals negative 2x plus 3. These equations here are the same. But if it's asking for an equation of a line, you do not need to have it in y equals mx plus b form. This is less work for the point slope form version. So that is the end of my rant about point slope versus slope intercept form. Actually, you know, if you are in the real world given a point of something and the slope of something, you probably do want to go to point slope form because that is an equation that is better suited for your situation. Now, Delta Math, they are going to coach you into slope intercept form. So what they do is they say y equals mx plus b, and they actually make you, for instance, they make you plug in your point. So -2, 7, and they make you solve for b. And then you have to plug that b back into like y equals mx plus b. So that's Delta Math way. However, way 2 is just the point slope way. So this has, the x1, y1, and your slope. And as we kind of saw before, this is like so much easier. So you're going to do, y minus 7 equals to -2 times x minus -2. And all what you have to do is just change the sign in the parentheses, and you're good. So a lot less work to do the point slope form.